everyone, and welcome to Faces and Heels, your podcast for professional wrestling here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and we have just witnessed WWE Survivor Series War Games, which took place in Vancouver. It was 5 matches, 2 War Games matches, 1 women's, 1 men's. We had 3. Yes, you heard me. 3 championship matches as well. United States Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, and the World Heavyweight Championship. This was, to say it was just 5 matches, it was a stacked card. I mean, 2 War Games matches and 3 championship matches is kind of against brand as of late when it came to WWE and their PLEs. But I ain't mad at it. This was an awesome show. I must say this was probably WWE's best premium live event of the year. If I, just going off the top of my head without going back and revisiting the previous premium live events, I probably could find one that was a little better, but as it stands right now, could be recency bias, who knows, but as it stands right now, this was a banger. I enjoyed almost every match. It was almost perfect. But one of them just did not flip the bill for me. But other than that, the other 4 matches on this card made me just disregard that. That was a mulligan. I'm not even going to count that as whatever. But we had, as I mentioned before, 5 matches. Our first match was the women's War Games match that had the team of Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley taking on Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Also, we had the WWE U.S. Championship, the United States Championship, where LA Knight was defending his championship against a returning Shinsuke Nakamura. We had a triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker takes on Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Also, the World Heavyweight Championship match between Gunther and Damian Priest, and the big daddy of them all, the main event of the evening, the men's War Games match. OG Bloodline versus this new Bloodline, and boy, it needed to be the main event. But let's go over all of these matches in case this is your first time joining Faces and Heels. And if it is, welcome to the show. I'm glad that you checked out this show. But how I normally go at it, I'm not the conventional pro wrestling pundit that will give you detailed analysis of why I rate these matches. I normally fluctuate. Like today, normally I go 4 stars, but I'm gonna go to 5 because I have a better way of kind of rating these matches. 4, I feel like I'm trapped in a little phone booth or something. 5, it feels a little more widespread so I can fairly rate these matches. And so we're going to go with 5 ratings on tonight's matchups. Let's start with the one that kicked off the show, the women's War Games match. This match, I was super excited about, especially when the show opened up and this was the first match. I knew that we were in for a treat, and sure enough, we were in for a treat. Previous War Games or Survivor Series War Games premium live events, when the women hit the stage, or should I say get into the ring, they always set the tone. They always set the bar for the rest of the evening and set the bar for the men's every single premium live event. This year was no different. What a match. This had everything you would expect in a War Games match. What I love about this event, and we're going to touch in on this, of course, this match and the men's War Games match is the story. I love, well, we all love. If you're into professional wrestling, if you're into WWE style of matches, it's mainly about the story. We all know, we all know about wrestling. It is no big secret. But what draws you to it, what keeps you engaged, is the story. And when you can tell a story in the ring, it makes it that much better. And that's where the skill comes in for all of these performers, all of these wrestlers. Uh, are they able to put on this physical, brutal match, this technical match, and still tell a story? And what I enjoyed about this year's Survivor Series War Games was the storytelling throughout all of these matches, but especially in the War Games matches, because you have a lot of stories here. It's not just A and B. We go from A all the way to Z when it comes to storytelling here. We have Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley in her feud against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Their little back and forth. It led up to Liv and Raquel attacking Rhea Ripley and quote unquote damaging her optical bone in her face. That's why she has to wear the mask. And you have that storyline. You have the storyline with Bianca Belair, who is one half of the tag team champions, women tag team champion to be exact, with Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, just a couple of weeks ago, was attacked on SmackDown. She's out of this match. She was replaced by Bayley. There's the questions: who attacked Jade Cargill? Was it Bayley to be a part of this match, or was it somebody on the other team like a Nia Jax or Tiffany Stratton, so on and so forth? Speaking of Tiffany Stratton, Miss Money in the Bank. Is this the opportunity for her to cash in her Money in the Bank, being as though we have both of the women's champions in this match? Not only in this match, but both of them are on her team, Nia Jax and Liv Morgan. So would this be the time to make that cash in? You know, so there's a lot going on here. And throughout the match, all of these storylines are in play. And then you have Io Sky. Io Sky has been a part of every single women's War Games match since it came to the WWE. When it started off at NXT, when it moved over to the main roster, Io Sky has been a part of each and every one of them. And she finds a way to steal the show in each and every one of them. Io Sky is a beast. She is amazing. But she didn't get the spotlight on her own tonight. Tiffany Stratton told her to hold my beer today. She went out there and dove off of the top of the War Games cage as well. It was amazing. That was an awesome spot performed by those two women. It was good to see Nia Jax in this match. I think this is the first time Nia Jax was a part of a War Games match. I get worried with Nia Jax because Nia Jax in the past has been a little unsafe. Yeah, ask Becky Lynch. She is she's a little reckless, a little stiff in the ring. But since she returned, she has really cleaned it up. She has, as far as I can tell, been one of the safest workers in the ring. Even her move, which is, it looks more devastating, but from everything I read, it is one of the safest finishing moves, the Annihilator, which I don't understand how it's the safest, but it's the safest. So she is taking steps to not injure nobody. But I was a little worried about this because you're in a cage, you know, a lot of bodies flying around. There's a lot of furniture. We have tables and chairs and toilet seats. Apparently, that was a part of this match. It was a lot, and she did a good job. Everybody here worked. Everybody here did their part. Candice LeRae, even though she kind of fell a little to the background of everybody else, because Candice LeRae right now is not a part of any big storyline, even though she's linking up more with Nia Jax, but she really isn't a part of any big storylines right now. And it's no knock on her because Candice LeRae is a really, really good wrestler. Really, I mean, if you don't believe me, go back and watch some of her stuff in NXT. Candice LeRae is amazing, and she looked good in this match. I'm talking more of her character wise, but overall, I think everything went off without a hitch. Rhea Ripley looked strong. Bianca Belair looked strong. I got a question during the match. Well, a question to myself. While I was watching the match, I was thinking about what if Naomi, because Naomi is kind of quiet, in regards to this Jade Cargill thing. I'm like, what if she is the one who attacked Jade Cargill backstage, because Naomi is not really doing anything right now either as far as going after a championship. Or is she a part of that women's United States tournament? I'm not 100% certain. I don't know why it's escaping my mind right now. But, as far as, once again, storyline wise, I don't know. I know she's linked up with Bailey, but that's about it. But we'll see. I know all that's going to play out fine. As far as this match set the tone for the night, it really made the guys think who was coming up later on in the night. We got a high bar to clear because of these ladies in this match. The women's War Games match, which was won by the team of Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bailey, gets 4.5 stars. It was clearly the match of the night, even though it was the first match. Nothing else could compare to that right there. I mean, every other match going forward, that's the energy they had to match. It really wasn't fair to those guys. I really felt bad. I really felt bad, not just for the men's War Games match, but the other 3 matches as well. I felt horrible for those guys because they have to come behind this match. This was an amazing match. But speaking of coming behind this match, the first casualty was the WWE United States Championship match between LA Knight, the champion, and Shinsuke Nakamura. This was the worst match of the night. Hands down. It's not even close. It's not even up for debate. It was the shortest match of the night. I don't even think this match went 10 minutes. It was that. I mean, it was blink and you missed it. It was a glorified squash match. And I don't understand why. Now, I know we're trying to build up Shinsuke Nakamura as this entity now, which they should have been done years ago. Let's be honest. Shinsuke Nakamura is a force of nature in the ring. So I don't know what's taking them so long, and they finally decide to pull the trigger. Maybe I feel some type of way because I love LA Knight, but he had to fall victim to it tonight. Other than that, the match was what it was. It was a squash match. It was pointless, to be honest with you, other than the fact to get a scrap around Shinsuke's waist. And it is what it is. It's no shocker. I predicted that Shinsuke Nakamura was going to win this match, and he did. I just didn't think it was going to be a squash. I didn't think. You couldn't make me believe that that's what it was going to be. Now, I'm saying squash. LA Knight had he got in some shots every now and then. But overall, this was not an entertaining match. And I think the whole build up to this really didn't, hook me. I felt it felt rushed. It felt like either LA Knight is going on vacation or I don't know. I just don't. It just didn't make sense why this quote unquote feud was rushed into this showdown at Survivor Series. And now this could be, the first in a series of matches. It's possible. It could be a trilogy involving these two. Who knows? But the whole thing just didn't make sense. For the past, since Shinsuke returned, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe, it, it's been all Shinsuke. I'm gonna make an example of this later on when we get to another match that pretty much did the same thing, but it built to this. It didn't feel rushed, but it had a similar layout, a similar blueprint. Whereas the heel was just dominating our champion throughout this rollout. And for it to go like it went in this match was like, huh? It makes LA Knight look weak. And that's what I don't I don't like that. They could have took it off of him. I'm not mad at that, but he looks weak as they did it. That's my only complaint, and it's the biggest complaint you can have. But in the singles match for the WWE United States Championship, Shinsuke Nakamura becomes the new WWE Universal, the WWE United States Champion, as he defeated LA Knight. This match gets 1.5 stars. It was not a good match. It was nothing. It was not entertaining at all, at all. And I feel bad because I like them both. They both deserve better than that. Now, could some of that be because it came behind the women's War Games match? Not really. Not I can't blame it on that. It just it was just a whatever match. But it is what it is. But our third match on the card was a triple threat match, ironically enough, for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, where Braun Breaker takes on Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser for that championship. This was another match that I wasn't 100% excited for, leading up to this premium live event. But boy, was I put to shame when this match came on. This was a banger, in the words of Sheamus. It's a banger. I loved every bit of it. These guys put it on, and I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was because of Sheamus. Sheamus is one guy who, since he returned from injury, he looks old. Now, granted, Sheamus was never a luchador in the ring. It wasn't like he was flying around doing suicide dives off, over the top rope and all this here. But he just moves slow now. He just looks old, But regardless, and every now and then he'll put on a nice one. Like him and Gunther, beautiful match a couple of years ago. Him and Pete Dunne put on a pretty decent match. I forgot when that was, but every now and then he'll give you a little sprinkle of something. And this was every now and then. This was a nice match. This was more of just a street fight between these three guys. It was a brawl. Ludwig Kaiser, who I'm very high on right now. I can't wait to see what's next for him, as far as, moving up the card, probably eventually winning this Intercontinental Championship, leading to something else, or something that I really would be excited to see, him being the one to beat Gunther for the heavyweight championship. But time would tell for that. Braun Breaker, I mentioned before on the prediction show, Braun Breaker is the prototype. He is everything you would want in a WWE superstar. He has the size, he has the agility, he has the athleticism. He's tailor-made to be the guy, and he displayed it tonight. I thought this all around, all three of these men put on a heck of a show. For a match that I really thought it was going to be like the Shinsuke and LA Knight match, just a little throwaway type match. But this was arguably Well, no, I don't want to go out and say the third. Well, it was the third best match of the night. I'm comfortable with that. This was, if this wasn't War Games and we didn't have War Games matches, this could have competed for one of the best matches of the night. And I'm not speaking in hyperbole or nothing like that, over exaggerate. No, it was really, really that good. That finish was amazing, and it kept going. I mean, this wasn't it didn't take forever to ramp up. This was it was relatively short too. I think it was like 15 minutes this match, but it was 15 minutes of hard hitting action. It never let up, and I greatly appreciated it for that. The triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, where we saw Braun Breaker retain his championship against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser, gets 3.5 stars. It was a banger. It was a good match. Really, really good match. I'm excited moving forward. What's next for all three of these gentlemen? Moving on to our World Heavyweight Championship bout, where Gunther defends against Damian Priest, the man who he took the World Heavyweight Championship off of at SummerSlam. I think this was when Finn Balor came in and interfered in the match and cost Damian Priest Damian Priest his championship, and that started that feud, which we will get touching on in a few minutes. Yeah, this was the rematch, and just like I was mentioning before when we were discussing the United States Championship, the build in the lead up to that, where we saw Shinsuke just dominate LA Knight in about 2 or 3 weeks leading up to this match at Survivor Series, and it both men didn't look good coming out of that. LA Knight looked fairly weak in this regard, where we saw Damian Priest just dominate Gunther for the last month. I would say on Raw, on the mic and physically. He put Gunther through a table. He chewed him up in a promo. He was just going at him, attacking him physically and mentally. It was like, man, Damian Priest on a whole nother level here. I'm super excited, and I like Priest, but I always felt that his promo skills, even his ring work at times needs to get a little better. But it's something about him I just like. I just like him. But he really stepped it up in this build for this match, and Gunther was pretty much left speechless, and you really doubted, can Gunther pull this off? Can Gunther retain his championship? Momentum goes both ways. You can have good momentum and you can have bad momentum. Gunther is coming off of that loss against Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel, and this is what Damian Priest was preying on, that you was this unstoppable force, and you couldn't beat Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes beat you clean, and this, that, and the third. He got Gunther doubting himself, and when this match started, Damian Priest, he got on him. You can see the doubt there. You can see that Gunther just wasn't there mentally, and then we had that switch. We had that moment when Damian Priest, his shoulder was quote unquote hurt, and Damian Priest smelled blood in the water, and that's what unleashed the beast here. And from that moment on, they went at it. This was a decent match, and I say decent as kindly as I can. The match went on too long. This match went on for about 20 minutes. It went on too long, and I normally wouldn't say that in a Gunther match, because I love Gunther is one of the best professional wrestlers working in the ring currently. I really, there's really not too many comparisons. Gunther can work with anybody, any size, any style match. It doesn't matter. Gunther is Gunther, and he makes everybody else look good in the ring. So there's that. In this match, Damian Priest, he did look good. He looked strong. And even in the loss, he looked strong and is still with a little controversy because once again, Finn Balor reared his head and got involved with in the match. And this time, Gunther was upset. He even kicked Finn Balor in the face for his troubles. But all in all, Gunther did get the victory due to this interference. But that does cause a little conflict there. Now, is Finn Balor going after Gunther now? Now, Finn Balor is another one who I can see taking the belt off of Gunther because Finn Balor is kind of floating in limbo right now too. With the Judgment Day, he doesn't really have anything going on other than him going after Priest again. And that we need to move on from that. It's time to move on from that, and that's what upset me about this match. I was like, oh man, I thought this was over. We just had the payoff at Bad Blood a couple of months ago. Why are we opening this wound again? And so I don't know, man. It was kind of curious, why they went this route in a match that really didn't need any interference, at least not at that point, because Damian Priest was hurt. He was hurting. And so it was no need. That really, in a sense, makes Gunther look a little weak. So is Gunther going to be upset and challenge Finn Balor or give Damian Priest another rematch, or are we setting up for a triple threat match between these three gentlemen down the line? I don't know, but I was a little disappointed with this match. I thought it was going to be better, even though it was a decent match. It wasn't a bad match. It was just, it didn't live up to expectations. The singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship, where Gunther retained that championship by defeating Damian Priest by submission, gets 3 stars. Yeah, it was decent. It just it didn't blow my socks off. Now, I will say it was worthy on being on this card. It was better than your typical Monday Night Raw match. I'll say that, but it just it wasn't a main event level match, even though it wasn't technically the main event. But I want to see a main event level match. That triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship, you can make an argument on any other card that would be a main event. Those guys put it out there. They left it on the I was about to say the field. This ain't football. They left it in the ring. That was nice. This one, it was a good match. That's all I can pretty much say about that. So that leads us to our true main event of the night, and of course, it is the men's War Games match between the new bloodline, consisting of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tomotaga, Tagaloa, and Bronson Reed, taking on the OG bloodline of Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and the best in the world, CM Punk. Man, all I can say, this is cinema. This is the stuff of legends. Everything leading up to this match, the match itself and the finish, was pure cinema. People in Hollywood can't write a screenplay that will be so in depth and keep with more drama and intrigue and thrills than what we witnessed leading up to this match and the match itself. This was perfect. This was, literal perfection. I have not one complaint about this War Games match. Let's start with the build to this match. Of course, it starts off as 5 against 4. Roman only has 4 people. So he can't, they're going to be outnumbered. We get the return of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman enlists the help of CM Punk. CM Punk comes in. There's a rift there. There's already built in heat because CM Punk and Roman Reigns aren't besties. Uh, they are not the best of friends. So there's intrigue there. You got that on top of the fact that he's going up, he being Roman Reigns, going up against the new bloodline, this bloodline 2.0, this turncoats in his eyes of Solo Sikoa, who left the original bloodline, to pretty much start this one. Kicking out everybody, beating up everybody else. Now Roman returns. He has to fight for the right to be the tribal chief yet again, to be acknowledged as the tribal chief. So you have that. Then you have a man on your team that you don't trust and don't like. So there's that. We get the little promo or this vignette that was produced on SmackDown the night before, where it's Roman, it's the wise man Paul Heyman, and CM Punk sitting around a table. Once again, cinema. It was perfect. If you haven't watched that, it's on YouTube somewhere. Look for it. It is perfect. So we get to the match. We get to the entrance of the match. Bloodline 2.0, they come out together. They're a cohesive unit. They're a team. They're the bloodline. So they come out together. Whereas the OG bloodline, they all come out one by one, which kind of shows you that this isn't a tribe. This isn't a team. This isn't a unit in the literal sense, because they were just thrown together or thrown back together to take on this new bloodline. It's not really to, what's the words I'm looking for here? It's not really to cement themselves as the bloodline, but it's more to get vengeance on Solo and his crew. And so the only one who's really going after being the bloodline or getting control of the bloodline will be a Roman Reigns. Everybody else is just there to beat the piss out of Solo. And so you have that. Then you add CM Punk in the mix, who has nothing to do with none of that, but he's there for a favor. He's there because Paul Heyman will owe him one. And the fact that they're holding that in their back pocket, not exposing what that is nothing short of genius. Because this can pay off Monday night on Raw. This can pay off at the Royal Rumble. This can pay off at WrestleMania. Or what I'm thinking, this can pay off even further down the line, when you see Roman Reigns come around and get the championship back, and then that's when that favor, that's when that get out of jail free card come into play. And so you have that. And we get to the match. The match starts. The match is, I mean, they're going at it nice. They're coming in one by one. We have the I forgot to mention Jay coming in with the yeet, coming in through the crowd, getting the crowd popped off. Beautiful. CM Punk coming in, antagonizing the Bloodline 2.0 in the cage, getting them all riled up. Beautiful. Roman, they get in the cage together, him, CM Punk, and he's side-eyeing CM Punk the whole time. He's not even watching the match. He's just looking at CM Punk. Beautiful. The match is going on. We got some great spots happening in the match. Loving everything that's taking place in the ring. We get to a point where the clock runs. It's Roman, it's CM Punk, and it's Sami Zayn left in their cage. And so the timer goes off. Now it's time for one of those gentlemen to enter the match. We see CM Punk getting geared up. He's about to run out. As soon as the cage opens up, Roman Reigns blocks him. He doesn't say a word. He just blocks him. And he gives the nod to Sammy. And Sammy just looks over. Sammy gives this look to CM Punk. And it was just hilarious, man. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I do to deserve this? why why is this so epic right now? So we have Sammy run out. CM Punk is pissed because he can't go because CM Punk he doesn't take orders from Roman. See, that's the whole point. So it's like, who do you think you are? You know what I'm saying? So all right, we get into the match. It's still going on, blah 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 blah. We get down to the timer where one of those men enter again. And so you have CM Punk just leaned up against the cage like, whatever, man. Whatever. Go ahead on in there. To Roman. And so Roman getting ready to run into the ring or come out of that cage. And as soon as he starts to walk out, CM Punk just shoots out. He walks out. And he leaves Roman just standing there. It was just, I'm like, my God, this is beautiful. And so CM Punk gets in, takes some real big bumps. I was actually shocked of the amount of bumps he was taking in that match. One thing leads to another. Solo enters. All of the Bloodline 2.0 is in the ring. So we know Roman is next. Solo locks the cage. He puts a chain and a lock on it, antagonizing Roman. You can't get in. You ain't getting into the cage, whatever. Roman finally gets out of his cage to enter in. Has to climb over the top. He started running run shop over everybody. Bloom, 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 bloom. But the rest of his team is laid out in the other ring. And so he goes over. It starts picking everybody up. Well, he picks up Jay. He picks up Sammy. CM Punk is laying in the ring. He walks past him and like shoos him and walks over and picks up Jimmy. And so CM Punk has to get off the ground by himself. And so when CM Punk gets up, there's a face-to-face between those two. And they're about to go at it. And then all of a sudden we see Paul Heyman come down the ramp. And Paul Heyman is like, yes, you're the best in the world. He points at CM Punk. You're the tribal chief. Y'all get together. This is war games. As soon as he says that, the bell rings, the match officially starts. I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me, bro. This is a movie. This is the greatest thing I have ever seen. And so they decide, all right, we're gonna do this. Everybody's going at it. We see some epic spots. We see Bronson Reed doing some crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. We see Jacob Fatu doing some crazy stuff. The Usos going at it, super kicking everybody. I mean, it is wow. It is pure pandemonium out there. Bloodline 2.0 gets the upper hand on Roman, manages to lay him on the table. At which time we see oh man, why am I blanking? Was it Jacob Fatu? Jacob Fatu climbs to the top of the cage and is about to jump on top of Roman. Just as he jumps, and I'm thinking Jacob Fatu, it could have been Bronson Reed. My mind is blanking. I was just excited. It didn't matter. It was spots between both of them. But anyways, it don't matter who jumped off. But the point is, just before the spot, CM Punk rushes in, grabs Roman off the table, and takes him off soon. I mean, they timed it perfectly. A split second off. And this is a disaster. This is probably the biggest botch in the history of WWE. If they're off by a nanosecond, but they timed it perfectly. CM Punk comes in, grabs Roman, and takes him off the table. As soon as he takes him off the table, Jacob Fatu or Bronson Reed, my mind is going crazy right now. But he goes to the table, explodes the table. And so Roman gets up, he looks around, he's like, this dude just saved me. He had that look and he reached down to give CM Punk a hand and lift him off the ground. And I was like, this is if I wasn't so fixated on trying to watch every little aspect of this match, I would be crying right now. This is cinema. One thing leads to another. Bloodline 2.0 gets wiped out. That leaves Solo standing in the middle of the ring, surrounded by the OG Bloodline and CM Punk. And everybody got their shot in. Super kicks by the Usos, Lula kick by by Sammy, go to sleep from CM Punk, and the crescendo, the spear from Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3. It was beautiful, beautifully done. OG Bloodline comes out victorious. This was perfection, man. I mean, I am so mind boggled on how they pulled this off. How? Because at one point, I mentioned this on past shows. I I was getting kind of bored with the Bloodline. I was like, man, this is it. There's no more meat left on this bone. And now I'm looking at it. Looks like a turkey. It looks like a turkey fresh out the oven. To keep with the Thanksgiving theme here. It's still a lot of meat there. This is amazing. Whoever came up with this Bloodline storyline, my God, they're geniuses. They the fact that this started off from Roman Reigns just beating up Jimmy. That was it. He beat up Jimmy Uso. That's how the Bloodline started. It's amazing. And here we are. And this is the greatest storyline of all of wrestling. And they put on one heck of a match. The men's War Games match where the OG Bloodline defeated Bloodline 2.0 gets 5 stars. It was amazing. I mean, simply amazing. I am so excited to see what's next because it isn't over. It ain't like Bloodline 2.0 is gone away. They're not going away by no stretch of the imagination. They're only going to get stronger, meaner, and probably destroy more stuff. And unfortunately for Roman, you're not going to have the services of CM Punk. And so there's a lot there, though. Is a lot set up here. I was expecting to see The Rock show up, to be honest with you. And the reason I thought he would show up, he showed up when Roman teamed with Cody. And so that upset him. And so once again, you have Roman teaming up with an outsider because this is quote unquote family business, with the Bloodline. And so the fact that Roman is teaming up with outsiders to fight the Bloodline, the family, that's what's fueling this anger from The Rock. And so that's where I thought he was going to pop up yet again and be mad. Probably won't do nothing, probably stand at the ramp and, get upset and walk back out again because he's The Rock. He can do that, He's on the board of directors. He can do what he want to do. But I was fully expecting that. But I'm pretty sure he'll be popping up soon. Yeah, he's definitely gonna pop up on his Netflix. I think that first episode of Raw on Netflix, he shows up. If not sooner than that. So we'll see. But I was expecting that. CM Punk, where does CM Punk go from here? We still got the Seth Rollins deal. We still have Bronson Reed now. That's a factor, Or will the Bloodline be going after CM Punk for interfering with family business? There's a lot here to play with, and that's why I'm so excited. That's why this was one of the best storyline matches of the year, of of the last few years, man. But this match was amazing. But yes, Survivor Series War Games, top notch show. If I had to rate the whole show as a whole, I guess I'll give it 4 stars. This was a 4-star night. If it wasn't for that Shinsuke Nakamura match with LA Knight, it probably would have been closer to 5. But it's that match, man. Mm, mm. But I'll try not to think about it because the rest of the card was great. You know, even the Gunther Damian Priest match, even though I had my issues with it, I still enjoyed it. You know, it's not like it's an unwatchable match, but it's saved from being horrible because of that United States Championship match. But that's my thoughts on Survivor Series War Games. I would love to know your thoughts of tonight's card. Did you enjoy the match? What was your favorite match of the night? And what do you think's next for these superstars? Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to Faces and Heels here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this recap and reaction to Survivor Series War Games. Can't wait to speak to you on the next go around for the next premium live event. Hopefully. I missed the last couple. I missed Bad Blood, and it was something else I missed. I think it was Crown Jewel, because I don't do Crown Jewels. But I missed Bad Blood. But I plan to be back for the next one. I don't recall what the next one is. I think it's Royal Rumble is the next premium live event. If you want to count Saturday night's main event, that's next month. But other than that, and that's on regular TV. But I think the next actual premium live event is the Royal Rumble, and it's in February, the 1st of February, but February nonetheless, and that's unusual because it's normally in January. But we shall see. But I'll be back around to recap those events. Until then, y'all be good, and I'll catch you on the next round.